I was like, I'm gonna like go try to like just train at one place for a month and make my life a little easier. And so I came down for a month in April of 23. And then I was like, okay, I get it. I'm gonna move. And then I had like, no reason not to. I didn't really have like a job or anything back home. So I moved in July of 2023 full time.
Nice. And how was that transition coming from like there to here, like for your life? Was it like you just went straight into full-time jiu-jitsu?
It was tough because like I did not really make any money the first year. Like,
oh, really?
Like, I saved a ton of money. I've always been writing on the internet, like on the side, to kind of pay for jiu-jitsu. But I wasn't like making any money through doing jiu-jitsu really for the first year that I was down here. So I was like traveling, doing seminars, instructional, was making a little bit of money, but it was mostly like kind of just like writing and hoping that eventually I would be able to make money doing jiu-jitsu, And so that was probably till I got invited to ADCC, and then I got like some sponsorships from that. Luckily I did well. So it kind of like was able to kind of spiral into more opportunities. Yeah. And then I was able to do well. Like I did well at PGF, I did well at DBI, and those kind of spiraled into more. And now then I did Polaris in February. So now it's the WNO, and yeah, so kind of like been able to turn it into a career. But I was like, literally like in May of last year, I was like, maybe it's time to move back.
Really?
Yeah. So,
do you think the opportunities have come? Obviously, you've done well at ADCC, but also being around the boys at B Team and seeing like does that give you any more opportunities?
Yes, definitely. I think like it's hard because there's a lot of like guys in the room, so it's like you don't just show up and get opportunities by being in there. It's like you need to kind of like prove yourself a little bit, because everybody wants to show up and kind of have things kind of fall into their lap. And I feel like for me, the moving kind of got me to the level where I was able to like when I got opportunities, there was not really a ton of like Chris doesn't deserve this or whatever. It was like pretty much like I was able to like kind of grow into the opportunities that I was getting, so that by the time by training with those guys every day, I was like, by the time I got them, I was like, I belong.
Yeah, I bet that felt pretty good, really, once you've got it. It's so hard for jiu-jitsu athletes, isn't it, though? People don't realise the grind to get to the top, like just to earn money, like just to do it as a living. If you were like in that 1% that's doing it, you've done pretty well.
Yeah, it's funny because like when I moved, I thought that I had already kind of, it's like kind of like you don't know how far you have to go because you don't know how far you really like, you just have no idea how hard it takes to get to the top, So like I was like doing well in like kind of the kind of mid-level submission only tournaments, and like, doing well in like, I made top 4 at the trials back in 2023. So like I had a good year, or 2022, sorry. So, and that was at 77 kilograms. And I thought that I was at the top tier then because like I had a close match with William Tackett. I had a close match with PJ at the time. And so I was like, oh, I'm already at the top level. And then I came down here and I was like, no, I suck. Never mind. And so like that kind of was eye-opening. And I was like, okay, I have to kind of forget this like idea that like I'm there already. And I need to just totally like immerse myself in this environment and trying to get to the true top tier. And then even now there's like kind of that sense of like imposter syndrome. Like, oh, am I really at the top, or is this, am I going to have like a moment where I realize that I haven't gone as far as I thought I did, But definitely now I feel like it's kind of settling in, like just kind of the opportunities that I've been getting offered recently. I'm like, okay, I think this is it.
Yeah. And how was the training compared to like back home? We've obviously got the different caliber of athlete, but the sort of training schedule and intensity in Chicago versus here?
Yeah, so when I was in Chicago, I was doing it all on my own. I wish I had known about the like eco stuff back then, because like that I think is kind of a way that you can get really good without having like tons of high level partners, but now it's like over at B Team, it's like we're kind of doing that, like with the base training and when he was here in the summer, he was doing height training and the connection rounds, and at night when we go in, we're doing like kind of the same kind of stuff, like single leg rounds and stuff like that for like wrestling. But it's like really it's the hard session at noon down here, and then I'll lift usually, and then 3 nights a week or so I'll go in at night and do more drilling with Dima and the guys, and then I teach the 7 o'clock class Wednesday, Thursday right now. So like pretty busy schedule, but like I have a lot of time open in the morning and during the day to kind of do other stuff, which is good. And then when I was in Chicago, we would do a hard session. Like I said, I was driving everywhere, but like I do a hard session with my coach Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning. I'd lift at like midday, and then I would teach at night. But I was teaching kids, and then I would do a private, and then I would teach adults, and then I would clean the gym. You know, so it was like that kind of. It was like a different kind of grind. You know, and then I would on Tuesdays and Thursdays usually I had the night off of teaching, so I would go to another gym, or I would drill with some buddies like in a garage or something. And it was like it was good, but it was not. It was super self-structured, which is basically like as structured as you're like feeling on that day. You know, so like some days we go in and it's like, you know, we're feeling really good, we're feeling motivated, maybe a match happened, so we do like this really structured session. But then maybe it's like a few weeks go by, the spark kind of fades a little bit, and then it's like now we're just doing open mat. Which is kind of the nice thing about having like Dima in here, because he comes and goes. You know, he's here like for 2 months, then he's leaving for a few months, then he's coming back for a few months. The nice thing is like when he's here, it's like I just show up to train. I don't have to think about like, what am I working on today? Or, you know, what is the, what am I studying? This or that. I can kind of like just show up, which is nice. I like to just kind of show up and train and then go home and not really think about jiu-jitsu until I go back and do more jiu-jitsu, you know? Versus when he's not here, it's like, okay, I got to study it. I have to study an instructional. Otherwise, we're just doing open mat when we go to the gym. You know? I have to watch some matches or, you know, listen to like a BJJ mental models or something like that to like kind of learn some kind of strategy to, you know, have a structured session.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. I always wonder when you're at sort of the level that you guys are at, sort of where the focus kind of goes in regard to your development. You know, do you kind of, it sounds like a little bit like you appreciate that input from a coach, but maybe when he isn't there, like how do you try and select what instructionals to watch and what content to listen to build?
Yeah, so the nice thing is that now that like, you know, now that I know Dima better, it's like we have this kind of dialogue off of like out when he's not here, you know, we like message and stuff and be like, he'll like last time he's like, you know, we need to work on your wrestling, we need to work on your passing, and then there's like some kind of little things from the guard, because I don't get passed much from the guard, but like there are like I feel like I could make my entries tighter and, you know, little things like that.